Greetings, everybody. This is James with Tennyson Financial Group, here to give you guys some news that you can use. Today's topic is going to be a little bit different. In our community, there's a lot of wrong information being passed around and misinterpretations of things when it comes to the law. And so, for that reason, we have two people that are very important to me, very knowledgeable about the law. We have a Miss LaShondra Sneed, who happens to be a Thurgood Marshall graduate of Texas Southern University, HBCU all day, and also a graduate of the Texas University. She has been a lawyer for over 10 years practicing criminal law. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yes, ma'am. And we also have my criminal expert over here, my law expert, Mr. Johnny Quarles, who, man, he's got a degree in criminal justice, bachelor's degree from our alma mater, Jarvis Christian College. He has several years of experience as a bounty hunter, and this dude literally just studies the law. So I know he knows what he's talking about when we're discussing the law. Let's just get started. Let's dive right in. When it comes to having weapons in the car, how does that work when we're talking basic rules or because everybody feels like, man, I got a gun in the car, I can shoot, I can do whatever I want because this is Texas or Wild Wild West. Miss Sneed, talk to us about that.
Okay. Well, first, I want to thank you for having me, Mr. Tennyson. Also, I want to just tell the community and the people that we're speaking with, I am happy to be here, but this is for general information purposes only. Any advice, or not advice, but any information that you receive from me is not establishing an attorney-client relationship. It's just to kind of give you all an idea of your rights and some general knowledge about the law. So we're talking about weapons in the car. In general, it's always it depends, because you have these situations. I have a history, I have a record, I'm this and that. In general, let's say you're just simple Susan, just good, clean, nothing, okay to carry if it's not in plain view, okay? So, but if you have it concealed or you have a license to carry, you do need to, if you were pulled over by an officer, let the officer know, hey, I do have a concealed weapon in the vehicle. But again, carrying the weapon, there are some things, if you're a felon and it's not 5 years from you being convicted or released from probation and all those things. Well, that's a whole different topic. I don't know if we want to get into that later.
Right.
But in general, it's okay.
It's okay.
If
you got the, so you say you got the concealed handgun license. Maybe Johnny, you can, maybe you can add some input onto that, because a lot of brothers in my community that I know, they just feel like, man, I got a pistol. It's legal for me to have it in the car. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of them take that, I'll be watching the first 48, and Dallas is real strong. You know what I'm saying? So I saw an episode the other day where a dude just literally, he firing from the car. And so that's not legal. Maybe you can elaborate on that, man.
Well, she was absolutely right about the concealed handgun license carrier. They go through class, they give them thorough information on what it's likely to do when they're pulled over, and they must maintain these different variables if they want to keep their license.
Okay.
Like she said, when you get pulled over, you must give them your concealed handgun license, also with your driver's license. Also let the officer know that, hey, I'm carrying, and this is where my weapon is. Okay.
Right. And that's regardless of you have the concealed hand license or not?
Well, we talking about only concealed at this time. Okay. That's a must.
Okay.
Anything outside of that, you're violating your concealed handgun license.
Okay.
And they go through all those once you go through class. Now, if you are a non-licensed concealed handgun, you are able to possess a firearm on your private home, private property, boat, or your car. Okay.
Okay.
Long as it's not in plain view. So that means it has to be under your seat. It has to be in the glove department. If I walk up to your car, I can't be able to see it.
Okay.
Okay.
So what I'm just and this is back in the day, but you know what that little slide is?
That
That
little old school slide.
Yeah, that little old school slide. It can't be in there.
You can't be in the old school slide, man.
Okay.
You be in the old school slide, you going to jail.
So
okay?
does it matter whether it's loaded or not? Can it be loaded or can it not?
That doesn't matter. Loaded, unloaded, doesn't matter. But I don't think nobody gonna roll around with an unloaded pistol. They better not. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But you know, there are some people out there.
Because I talk to some guys and they're like, man, I just keep it in the case in the car. But you know, depending on what neighborhood you're in, you like, man, I need that thing on me. I need it ready.
Now, I will give a disclaimer because it's different variables when you talk about the law.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
I'll give you an example. Okay. John Doe is riding down the street. Okay. He's at the red light, and we're gonna talk about casino handgun license first. Okay.
Right.
And someone runs upon him and tries to take his vehicle.
Okay.
Okay. He's a concealed handgun license.
Okay.
Pulls him in, and he's in threat of his life.
Okay.
That person has a right to pull his weapon and use deadly force.
Gotcha.
Okay. All right. Because in the state of Texas, he has a right to carry that firearm.
Right.
Okay. Now we're gonna talk about non-handgun license. Okay. That's those variables. That's those variables we're talking about. Okay?
Right.
You are allowed to carry your firearm in private property, your home, your boat, or car.
Okay.
But that law doesn't say you get to use it when you get ready to.
Right.
So we don't get that same situation. Okay? John Doe is riding down the street. He's at a red light. Someone opens his car door. Does he shoot or does he shoot? Does he shoot or do he not shoot?
What old girl said on Black Panther, without question.
Okay.
So he can't shoot.
So the thing about it is,
I want to see the lawyer now. He can't shoot.
Well, my interpretation, if we're talking about, because we kind of flowing a lot of stuff
Right.
in now with the castle doctrine and things like that.
Very different variables.
He's mentioning, using the force, and I think that's what the deadly force what comes in. So I think the variable he's talking about is using the deadly force.
Gotcha.
So you can have a gun outside those variables, being a felon, all those things like that. But I think we'll talk about that. You can use force if it's reasonable.
Okay.
Right? You get what I'm
So
saying?
somebody gotta really be trying me. I can't
you know,
I can't be, if somebody threatens me threatens me, but I don't feel my life is in danger. Right. Somebody just talking trash, I might not
words
feel
won't probably
right.
rise
So it's
to
gotta
the
be
level
physical,
of you being.
or somebody trying to maybe, break in my car or.
Those are one of the things that if this happens to go to court or trial, that the judge or the jury will look at the reasonableness of the deadly force. So,
Gotcha.
And we also talked about having a weapon to protect your home,
Right.
Your vehicle, watercraft. I think he said. Also, I think we talked about this. You asked me about it. Your place of business,
Right.
Business and employment is also included in that under the penal code, but. That's in a situation, when someone, like he was explaining, someone is trying to intrude, trying to commit these certain offenses, trying to rob you, trying to take you from your house, your home, your car, things like that. So if they're attempting to enter into those locations, then you can use your weapon.
Right.
But we're gonna look at is this force reasonable? Was this deadly force?
Right. So man,
reasonable.
I'm glad you brought that up because it brings us to another topic that we talk about. When we fellowship and things like that. It's protection of yourself and the family and the home. I was thinking that because I'm in my home and I'm protecting my family, like there is no variable when it comes to that. If they break into my house, I'm protecting my family, period, point blank. You see what I'm saying? So give us that example that you used the other day, and then maybe the expert over here can clarify as well. Validate.
Okay, let's talk about weapons in the home. Okay, you are allowed to protect your home or property. Okay, now, like we talked about last week, I don't want anyone to think that any law doesn't have variables. Okay,
Yeah.
All laws have variables. That's why we go to trial and try to say, hey, are you guilty or you're innocent? Okay, and different variables are the reason why I think this person is innocent and why I think this person is guilty. Okay. So I want to just let everybody know that every law has a variable. Every law has content to it. Okay. Now, so we'll talk about you and your family inside the home.
Right.
Okay. And you hear someone outside in the garage. He's not inside your home. He's just in your garage. Okay. Now, was it he's stealing a lawnmower, a weed eater, or even your car. At that point, the American people want to know, can I go outside and shoot him in my garage?
Right.
Okay. Now, and I'm going to tell you the truth. Out of 10, 8 done lost. Okay.
Wow.
Okay. Right. Now, the reason is this. This is the reason they give. Your home has a door between your garage and
Right.
your actual home.
Where I'm the kitchen
So
and all that.
that threat is not an intimate threat at that particular time. He's in the garage, whatever you want to stick, let the garage up and let him go.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So he's not actually in your home. So that means he's not an immediate threat to you at that particular time. Okay. That's why back in the day you used to always hear people say, "Hey, if somebody in your garage, shoot him and then pull him inside the house." You know what I'm saying? I know everybody done seen it. I mean, I'm sorry, everybody done heard it before.
Yeah.
Okay. So I would tell everybody that's listening to this podcast, if somebody in your garage, leave him alone until he come in the garage. Till you come inside your home.
Okay.
Okay. So I would advise, look, first of all, you're not the police. Okay.
Right.
Get on the phone with 911, let them do their job. Okay. Now, if the garage is up and he takes off, okay, don't run him down and then shoot him.
So
You going to jail.
Let me ask you this as a criminal defense attorney. Is it like what is, and this is probably, I'm veering. He just told you I'd be veering. But like in your experience, not what talking about the law. I'm just saying in your experience, when it comes to people coming to you and the ignorance of the law is no excuse type of deal. Like how many people have you had to break down and let them know what that is because they didn't know that their laws or they didn't know what the rules were and things like that?
Well, most people. People know some things, laws in general, but if you dealing with me, do I spend time educating people about the law or how?
I guess, because I wanted to go from more of a perspective of folks not knowing, and then they get in this situation, and then it's like, oh damn, how you gonna do that? How y'all gonna do that to me? I thought I was doing the right thing. You see what I'm saying? But it doesn't.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like protecting my home, protecting my family. Regardless, I might go to jail, and I might have to do that. But damn, I thought I was right in the first place.
Basically, you're saying does the ignorance get me off because I didn't know? Do I get a pass?
Because my intent wasn't to cause harm.
Right.
My intent was to defend my family. And so because this dude was
that
in the garage,
right?
You see what I'm saying?
Right,
and then I come to you and I'm like, man, how you gonna tell me? And that's what I was asking you. How many times?
Right, but if that was the case, then everybody would say that I didn't know.
Right.
So it doesn't work.
No,
that really don't matter.
Ignorance of the law is
don't
not
matter.
a.
No.
Yeah,
That's not a defense.
It's not.
It's not defense. No.
Okay, see that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about right there. So weapons for felons. I got a partner of mine. Actually I got a couple partners of mine that happen to be felons. They done served their time, did everything they supposed to do. There is no restitution and all of that stuff is paid, is done. And certain things like, they like, I can't handle a gun. Or they like, man, what about, can my wife have a gun? Cause she ain't got no felony. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I might not want a gun. Well, can I have a gun or can I not have a gun? If I, paid my debts to society, they've had jobs for years and years and years. Either one of y'all could chime in on that because, they really have questions when it comes to that type of deal. Because they got family, they got kids, they got jobs, they have a past, but they still want to be able to protect their family. So, maybe you can elaborate on that.
Well, in general, we've been talking about there are always those caveats and things like that. In general, if you, in Texas, if you have a felony, you can, after 5 years of release from prison, from community supervision, from parole, from probation, whatever, after 5 years, you can own a gun. You can have a gun in your home.
Okay.
Period. That's it.
Now, hey, look.
So I can have a gun.
She can have a gun. But look, it's variable though, okay?
Yeah.
Now,
I got to teach my daughter real early. Hey, man, you're going to have to bust that thing because I ain't going to be able to touch it.
Right. She's absolutely right. Okay. Yeah. What she said is Texas law, 100% Texas law, straight from the book, straight how it's written. Okay. But, okay, we're talking about a variable. All right. Supreme Court law says this, federal law, says this. No one, absolutely no one that has a felony can possess a firearm. Okay? Now.
But if it's in your home.
Listen what I'm saying. Okay, listen what I'm saying.
Variable.
Okay, all right. Now, we live in Texas and everybody say we talking about Texas law, okay? Right. Now, I don't want everybody to say, oh man, now I can carry it. After 5 years, I can get a gun. I'm straight. Yeah. Okay, that's not what she's saying. She's telling you exactly what the law says. Okay, because that's what Texas law says. But federal law says this: no one that has a felony is allowed to carry a firearm at no times. Okay, meaning this: federal law trumps state law. Okay,
even in Texas. Texas, we kind of do our own thing.
Okay.
So you're looking at I don't know if you have some people listening. So some people out there might be doing things that they know might catch them a Fed case, okay?
Right,
so they might be pushing, so they might be doing some stuff,
right.
And pushing some work.
We're going to call it variables.
Right.
So if you and these people,
right.
They know they have an attorney on retainer.
Right.
They might be well versed in the law than me. They know.
They stay ready to keep you getting
if you are dealing in a situation where you know you're gonna have federal agents come to your house,
right.
You know what I'm saying? There is, we saying variable. There is a Texas law versus federal law, right? You see what I'm saying?
So we just talking about. We ain't talking about kinfolk. We ain't talking about the guys with the variables. We talking about upstanding guys who have families. They're Christians now. They giving it off to God. They got giving on to God.
Who the hell is my life?
they done had a job for 20 years. They got kids. They got grown kids. They got a wife. They got a mortgage. All of this stuff. They want them the ones I'm talking about.
So this is the thing. You're not gonna be, if you're a felon, you're not gonna be able to get a license to carry. You're not gonna be able to, outside of your home have a gun. So you should only, if you have met the requirements, it's really the 5-year, requirement, you're off of this is in Texas, by Texas law, off of everything, then, you can have it in your home. We talked about it, to protect your home. But other than that, or if you're doing some other illegal stuff, you know your phone line tap, they watching you,
right.
Don't do it, man.
Don't do
it. I'm talking about, so basically, for example, in these variables, say I'm a felon, I have a pass. I have a weapon in my home. All right, I can't touch it. But my wife, my daughter, my family, they can touch that thing. So basically, what you're saying, get your house in order, and they need to know how to shoot. Or they need to know how to protect themselves.
Well, again, every situation is different. If it's a situation where we're talking Texas, we're talking an officer, peace officer, somebody that has an officer in Texas, I guess is how I'll word it. In a situation where they might have to come to your home, or you done shot somebody that tries to break into your home. Generally, that situation might be okay, but that doesn't mean, like you were saying, that doesn't mean
free and clear
that you haven't broken a federal law.
Gotcha.
You see what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So, you might not have a case. The state of Texas might not bring any charges against you, but that doesn't mean that if there is some reason for there to be a federal investigation, or them looking into it, that you won't have a federal charge against you.
Gotcha. So man, y'all giving me some good information right now, man. So we talked about the handgun license, whether you can, you can't have it, all of that good stuff. We talked about protecting your home. We've talked about weapons for felons, state of Texas versus, federal. Now I want to go to something more specific. Let's talk about your rights when you're being pulled over. this is to me one of the biggest. You know, even we as grown folks, you know, we don't know what we don't know, and so, you know, I think a lot of times we put our foot in our mouths because we don't know and we thinking we doing more good than harm. What are your rights specifically, Ms. Sneed, when you being pulled over? So we got two different variables we talking about. Variables. I'm gonna call this podcast variables. One is I'm a civilian, I'm in the street. The other one is I'm a civilian and I'm in the driver's seat and the passenger seat. So those are the three variables we're looking at because, you know, mixed information. I've been told you don't even have to identify yourself. Been told, now you better identify yourself. Then I've been told, you know the law. So we trying to figure out from the law first.
So my deal is I have a son, and I can tell you the law, but at the end of the day, you knowing the law and you asserting your knowledge of the law, if that's more important to you than going home that night, then okay, I'll tell you this
now,
information.
This is coming from a mom, though. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
This is coming from a mom. So
but listen, even I'm coming from a mom, but I'm also coming from, I can't, if you know the climate that America is in right now. So
Right.
I am not here telling you to do whatever the police tells you to do.
Right.
But you have to make the decision if you want to know the law and act on it, or if you want to be able to go home and then act on it
right.
afterwards.
So here's my question. We going from Martin to Malcolm and Malcolm to Martin. You know, so that's why I say, you know, some people they gonna ride on that. You know, I stood up for what I believe on. I'm riding that these are my rights. Not necessarily about being right or wrong, but if they know the law, and even with them being on camera, like we was just talking about George Floyd the other day, had there not been cameras in that scenario, that police report would have been so sweet, and then we would have never even knew about dude.
And so, exactly. So a lot of this, I can tell you what your rights are, but then there's the police, there's their discretion.
Right.
So, and I know, you know, I don't know, but I assume there are policies and different things the different police department in the state of Texas decide that they do bring people in. You have the police discretion.
Right.
I mean, the police have their discretion. So, you know, in general, yeah, I don't think my answer really changes if you're pulled over. And again, the variable. It may depend on the reason why you're pulled over. But
right. So what rights do I have as if I'm pulled over? Like, not necessarily whether you want to be Martin or Malcolm, or but like I'm trying to get home, because I understand where you come from. You're coming from a mother's perspective. I might be coming from like, this is the law.
Okay.
I'm holding you accountable for the law, and that might get me out of a situation because I know that, you know, you on camera, and it's just like teaching anything. You got rules, and you know you got rules. So if you don't follow that, you know, police officers getting fired every day at the same time as murders every day. So,
right. So I guess my question is, why are you getting pulled over? Because that's a general, again,
traffic stop.
A traffic stop. They pull you over. They ask for your ID.
Do I have to talk to them? If they come and they say like...
So, and I get what you're saying. You're saying your rights. But I guess what I'm saying overall, you know how we talked about me getting those nuggets in the situation and making the best of it? Okay, no, don't talk. Don't say, be an a-hole with the police. And then how...
See what it gets you.
That's what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm saying? If you want me to say, to cuss them out and do all that...
No,
you know
that's not what I'm saying. I don't want you, what I'm saying is that, but I'm just saying... And so from somebody, you know, you got experiences about 100 things like that, maybe you can elaborate, because that's more of a real street situation where, you know, you got the muscles and stuff. You know, you might be able to talk from a different perspective.
Okay, well, let me say this. You should, if you have an interaction with the police, and it seems like a situation where you may be arrested or detained, you need to ask, get clarification. I would suggest you comply and be polite with the officer, but ask, am I under arrest? Am I being detained? And am I free to go? Okay, so ask those questions. Get the officer.
So
Get
if
the
they ask a
officers.
question, I'm gonna ask a question. So we
Again.
we 21 questions.
Again.
So, can I see your license registration? Am I being arrested? Did I break a law? So that's what I'm saying.
I'm just saying, you want to ask those questions, or are they, if they want to identify you, you've done what they've asked you to do, and then you feel like the situation is escalated. You haven't done nothing. Ask, are you under arrest?
I'm listening
and if
to
you're
what
free
you're
to
saying.
go.
What I'm thinking about is this. They're asking me. I don't know if they're asking me just because they're asking me whether I'm required to answer, because even though it might not be nothing, and I talk to one of my homeboys about this all the time. Stuff that there are variables that we don't think about. For example, smells. On a camera, when they're looking, if they're reviewing a camera, they can say, I smell marijuana. We can't determine that, via the camera. If they say he's inebriated or drunk, we can't determine that from the camera. I smell alcohol, that type of deal. So that's a variable. And that's what I was asking. Like, maybe he could elaborate and be more, because you got more like, I'm in the streets with it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
All right. Well, first of all, I want to say this. We live in a different time right now, and I'm going to tell everybody, Americans. Right now we're hearing Black American, but I'm just talking about all Americans. Okay. If you're stopped by the police, first of all, I want you to remain calm.
Right.
Okay. Because a lot of times in this anybody, okay, once you get stopped by the police, the first thing you do, your heart get to beating fast.
Right.
Okay. You're nervous because you don't know why he stopped you, okay? You get to shaking. You might not have done nothing but fail to maintain the signal lane change. But all of a sudden, guess what? You all worked up, and now
what I done did.
You know what I'm saying? So right at that point, your body movement has really jumped to a 10. Really should be a 1 or a 2. Okay.
Right.
All right. Because you never know. It could be something as simple as, hey, look, your tail light out. Or it could be something. He could be stopping you because he's helping you. You just never know.
Right.
Okay. Now, at this particular time, I'm talking only a traffic stop. Okay. I'm not talking about a warrant. I'm not talking about anything of that type of nature. I'm strictly talking about a traffic stop for a moving violation. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. We're talking about moving violations only. Now, so if we'll just say you're on Interstate 20 and the police stop you for speeding. Okay. Now, you get pulled over. The police should say, hey, my name is John Doe from the Dallas Police Department. I stopped you for speeding today. Can I get your license and your insurance? We don't say registration anymore, okay?
Right.
So it's your license and your insurance, because every officer doesn't pull up the insurance on his car. Mm-hmm. So he might ask for that, okay? So if he asks for it, don't be like, well, don't you got that pulled up in your car? You know what I'm saying? Right. Now you escalate, okay?
Right.
Remain calm is what we're talking about at this point, okay?
Right.
So can I see your license and your insurance? Sure. So now he told you, hey, look, I stopped you for speeding. I want to see your driver license and your insurance. Okay, now, your question was, what rights do you have?
What rights do I have?
Okay, now, if he asks you anything other than that, you don't have to tell him nothing. Where you going? That's not none of his business. His business was he stopped you for speeding. Okay?
So if he asks me where am I going, I say, that's when I hit him with the, am I being detained?
No, you don't have to say anything. Just say, hey, look, that's not the question that I have to answer. Right. You don't have to answer that question. Sir, that's a question I don't have to answer. You pulled me over for speeding. Okay, do you have anything pertaining to the speeding or the failure to maintain the signal lane change, or the or not maintain the speed? It's whatever you did. Okay. You don't have to. You still have a Fifth Amendment. Okay.
Right.
All right. You don't have to answer any question outside of that. Okay. Now, that is your right. Okay. That's your right, because at the end of the day,
what can happen?
Okay. At the end of the day. Because at that point, you haven't done anything wrong. Only
Right.
thing you did was you were speeding. He can't do but two things at that particular time.
Give
you a ticket or let you go.
Right.
Okay, now, all right, when you start escalating and doing other things, that's when, you know, like we say, the variables start coming in. Okay, all right, you know what I mean? So you don't have to answer that question. Sir, that doesn't pertain to the speed. I don't want to answer that question. Do you have anything pertaining to the speed? Okay.
Have you been drinking?
No, sir.
I smell marijuana. Can I search your vehicle?
Okay,
Well, he
look.
said, again, remember he
remember-
said,
Right, variable.
just a
It's
student-
basic-
yeah,
it's basic.
traffic stop.
This is just a basic traffic stop. We're not
Right,
talking.
right,
We're not
right,
talking
right.
about the smell and nothing like that.
Okay.
Okay. Now, since you brought it up, we'll say this. Okay. Have you been drinking? No. It's simple. No. You don't have to be. You don't have to be. Like we say, you don't have to
I
be a
had
bud
two
old.
beers.
You don't have to do all that. No. Have you been drinking? No, I haven't. You know what I'm saying? Can you search my car? No. That's your Fourth Amendment. Okay. Search and seizure. That's your Fourth Amendment. No, you can't search my car. Okay. At that point, now he has to have a reason to search your car. Okay. Now, if you've been drinking, let's talk about the passenger. You've been drinking. You know you've been drinking. Okay.
Yeah.
You know you got the open container in the back of your car.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got
All
my
right?
LB with me.
Yeah.
Hey man, handle this for me.
Because I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you guys something. If you've been drinking and you let that window down, it comes out of the window.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you that right now. I mean, you don't smell it because guess what? You've been drinking and you might not even be drunk, but the scent of alcohol is strong once you let down that window. I'm gonna give you an example. Just say you go home one night and you're laying next to your wife. You be like, baby, have you been drinking? That's the same thing the police smell. She been drinking, but you haven't.
Right.
Okay. So it's the same thing with the police. Okay. So if you haven't been drinking, no. Okay. Again, if he says this, we'll say that he pulled you over for speed, but he smelled alcohol. Have you been drinking? That's still a question you don't have to answer,
Gotcha.
because you still have your memory rights. Okay. Because at the end of the day, if he arrests you for DWI, everything you say can and will be used against you with.
Cool.
Okay. So
And this is the reason why I keep saying Martin versus Malcolm, because I keep thinking about mom. Mom is saying, baby, do whatever they tell you to do and come home.
right.
Me as a father, I'm gonna say, know your stuff, and don't let nobody violate you. You might have to do something, but to a certain extent.
Well, Mr. Tennyson, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Being a mom is the correct way to handle police in these times right now. Okay, because what she said is absolutely right. Okay, just do what the police ask you to do.
Yeah.
Okay, get him in and get him out.
Yeah.
Okay, you want the police to be at your car, away from your car, at your car, and away from your car. Meaning this, he's approaching your car to get your information. He's gonna go back to his car. He's gonna run your stuff. When he comes in, the second time he's gonna say, I'm gonna give you a ticket and have a good day. After that, you need to be done with him. Okay?
Right.
Anything outside of that, guess what? We have a problem.
Right.
Okay? And a lot of times,
Have you seen any instances or heard of any instances where, say, for example, they like, okay, you won't be like that? All right, bet. I'm finna tow your car.
yeah, of course.
You finna get let out of jail, but you finna go.
Okay, I'm gonna give you absolutely an example. I'm gonna give you an example. I pull you over for speeding. I'll say I pull you over for maintaining the signal lane change. Okay, I approach the car and I say, hey, look, my name is Officer John Doe from Dallas Police Department. Can I have your license and insurance? Okay. You say no, I ain't giving you my license. Okay, because I didn't do nothing. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, before I go on with this, I'm gonna give a disclaimer. Okay. All my views and expressions on this podcast are my own. Okay, and not represented by opinions or entitlement whatsoever, which have been and now will be affiliated with Dallas Police Department, Sheriff Department.
My boy putting that disclaimer out
Okay.
there.
All right, I want to let y'all know that. Okay. All right, I want to let y'all know that. Okay. Now, I will say this, going back to what I'm saying. Okay. Now, if he pull you over for maintaining signal lane change, okay, and you don't give your ID, now you broke another law. Okay, because at that time,
So I'm 2.
now you at 2 because first of all, he had proper cause to call. You have broken a law in the state of Texas. Okay, so he has a right to stop that vehicle and find out why did you do what you did. Okay, why did you fail to take a signal lane change? Was you drunk? Was you on your phone? It can be a whole bunch of different things. Okay, so now when you don't ID yourself, That's another violation that you have done.
So
Now,
whether you're, and I'm trying to go in and get out. So quick question. We talked about, now outside of the car, regardless, you got to identify yourself, right?
no. Okay. Well, you talking about driver or the passenger?
No,
He's talking
outside
about
of a
walking,
vehicle.
like
Like
not
just,
in a
I'm walking to Family Dollar down the street.
Okay.
You know, sir, can I see your ID?
Yes, because the thing about it is, if you're getting stopped, it may be something that officer got, like a call in the area, a suspicious person, such as like that. Yes, because at that time, an officer is you're basically saying we're doing his job.
Right.
You don't know what he have got. You have to ID yourself, okay? All right, because it's just a law. You have to ID yourself at the pick
So
of time.
outside of the car, yes, you got to ID
Yeah,
yourself.
you have to ID yourself.
As a driver, yes,
you have to do it.
ID yourself. Now, as a passenger,
As a passenger,
Sir.
no, you don't have to. Now I'm gonna tell you. Now wait, I'm
Variables.
variable. I'm gonna tell you something. Now listen. Okay, look, we'll stick with the failure to maintain signal lane change. If the police stop a driver for the fail to maintain the signal lane change, and he pulls over that driver, no alcohol smell, no marijuana smell, no nothing.
No PC.
Okay, no nothing. Only thing he has at the particular time is the failure to maintain signal lane change. He's gonna ask the driver. The driver has to identify himself. Now, hey, the passenger, hey, what's your name? You don't have to tell the officer anything. He's gonna ask, okay? Because officers, police, they nosy. You know what I'm saying? And it's their job to be nosy, okay? All right?
protect and serve.
Protect and serve. That's their job. You know what I mean? If you're not a nosy police, you're not doing your job. Okay? It is what it is.
Yeah.
Okay? So yeah, no, you don't have to give it to them. But like you say, there's different variables. If something else going on with that car, if you hit that car and if a warrant pops up on that license plate and we don't know who that warrant's for, or just it's different variables that you have. But if you're talking about a straight moving violation and that passenger's over there, no. Now I know you asked me this question the other day. How can a passenger get a ticket? What are some ways a passenger can get a ticket? Okay. The driver can be driving down 20 doing exactly what he's supposed to be doing. And the police decide you, and then you take a swig, we'll say a swig of that Coke 45. Okay?
No, we're not swigging, Coach.
Okay.
But I got you.
Right. The police is gonna pull you over. Okay?
Yeah.
He gonna pull the car over.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, that's open container, number one. That's PC to pull that car over. So it's like, not wearing your seatbelt. A passenger not wearing his seatbelt. That's another one. The driver might have their seatbelt on, but if the passenger don't have his seatbelt on, the police can still stop that car and get a passenger a ticket. Okay?
So let me ask you, Sneed. Like I heard what he's saying about getting in and getting out. Let's talk about explanations. We doing everything that he asked us to do. He or she asked us to do. I think a lot of times we get ourselves in trouble because we nervous and we start fumbling and explaining.
Okay. So this is a little gem. I had one of my favorite professors in law school, her criminal law class, and this is kind of when you're in a situation where you might get arrested. And look, guys, you can be arrested and you could be right. You could have not done anything wrong. Okay, get your attorney on the back end to fix that, to work that, to get it,
charges dropped or whatever.
All that. Okay, but shut up and lawyer up. Shut up. Don't give them. It lines with what he was saying. Oftentimes people, clients, well, I told him this because I thought you think the police officer is your friend. Well, he's trying to do his job. And if you done broke the law, you telling him that you done broke the law, he's not your friend.
That's why I broke the law, though. I was doing this because I was trying to get there.
You're going to jail.
Right.
Okay.
So,
So don't answer. Just answer, but short and sweet. Or
Don't answer. Don't
Shut
answer.
up.
Don't
if
say
you're
nothing.
under arrest, shut up and
he-
lawyer up. Don't say a thing. Don't explain nothing. You're done. Once if you know you're getting arrested, don't say a word. You don't have to be disrespectful or anything like that. Just don't say anything. I don't have anything to say, officer. I don't have anything to say, sir, ma'am. Just That's it. You ain't even gotta say that. Just shut up.
Why you ain't
Because
got-
you can't at that particular
Just
time you
shut up.
can't change the
Don't
current
over-
event.
yeah,
You
don't-
can't change the current event. So
Once you are arrested, from the point that you are arrested, shut up. Don't
Right.
say nothing when you got the cuffs on you. Don't say nothing when the police call. Don't say nothing. Don't say anything until you have contacted your lawyer. Talk to your lawyer. Not your baby mama, not your baby dad, not your husband, not your wife. Talk to your
I got
lawyer.
I got a cousin in the law library.
yeah.
Got a cousin in the law library in the jailhouse, man. You know a lot of stuff, man.
So you're asking, I'm telling you, I'm explaining you what I did, officer, to mitigate the circumstances. You're
Right.
not. You're making it worse for
making it
yourself.
worse.
You're making probably a worse case against yourself, and you're making your
So
lawyer
be
probably
polite, but
charge
be
you
short.
some more money.
Be polite, be short.
Okay, let me explain something to Mr. Tennyson. I don't know if you're not understanding what we're saying right now. Okay.
How
All right.
can we say
I don't know.
Right.
It's not nothing polite about it.
Right.
When you
Don't
get
say nothing.
when you get arrested, but don't
Right.
say nothing.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Gotcha.
When you get downtown and when you get in the car,
Don't say nothing.
don't say nothing.
Yeah.
Don't say even when you get downtown and get booked in and you see that person next to you when you're sitting there waiting, don't talk to nobody. You saw one person you talk to, because at the end of the day, can one person help you?
Yeah.
And that's your lawyer. Okay.
Gotcha.
All right. So don't say anything. Man.
Man, if we haven't informed y'all, I know for a fact that I've been informed. I'm gonna have to watch this about 4-5 times because I think they trying to beat something into my head right now. So, man, look, I appreciate y'all for coming out. Well, you gonna be here. We working, but Miss Sneed, man, I appreciate you coming out, informing people as well as you, JQ, man. Mrs. Sneed, tell the viewers where they can find you if they want to be a client.
They can reach me at lashandra.wilson@gmail.com.
Boom. Once again, we appreciate y'all for tuning in. There's a lot of valuable information today, and we just want to keep educating the community. We appreciate y'all coming in and viewing our show. Thank you and have a blessed day. Peace.
Bye.